Hello, welcome to Kitchen Basics 101, where I teach you the bare bone basics as if you've never cooked a day in your life from the perspective of a mom. I recently lost my Gigi and I've been having a little bit of struggle with it. She lived with me. She was 94 years old and I was her caregiver. And it's just been a hard transition, you know. I'm reminded of her and all the little things. You know, I found something in the laundry that I was working on a stain to get out of a shirt for her. And I got a notification that I needed to pick up her prescriptions. And, you know, these little things just remind me of her. And obviously I don't want to not be reminded of her, but it also makes me sad. I thought I would take the suggestion of one of my followers that said, let's make some dishes that are Gigi dishes or remind me of Gigi. And I'm going to tell you one thing. The woman loved potatoes. I mean, loved potatoes. So I've made a lot of potato dishes on here. So I'm going to make her favorite, which is her own au gratin potato recipe. I'm going to use a mandolin. If you're not comfortable with a mandolin and you have this cheese grater, which I'm going to show you in a second, it actually has a setting on it that is just a slicer. And so you could cut the potatoes and roll them through here and slice them up with this. Which is really cool. I'm like super comfortable with the mandolin, but I know we're not all comfortable with the mandolin. The mandolin can be very dangerous, okay? But I've been doing it for like, I don't know, 30 years. So I feel comfortable with it. If you don't, use the slicer. And I'll show you at the end, I'll do one with the slicer just so you can see. I have all the slices in some nice cold water so they don't turn brown. And I'm just gonna show you me doing it with the grater. I'm just gonna clip it down to the counter. So now it's nice and secure. See if it fits in my chute. It does fit my chute. And then you're just gonna go around with the grater. Look at how beautiful. Obviously you could use this to make all kinds of things, potato chips, whatever, but it makes these really nice thin slices of potato. It's a little thinner than the mandolin setting that I had because I chose 2 on my mandolin. And so it's hard to tell, but it's definitely thinner slice. And it's not adjustable, so you have to use this thinner slice. But if you're scared of the mandolin, this makes quick work. And this does have a guard. Hold on, I'll show you. Here's the guard so that you never have to get your hands close to the blade. And there it is. We're gonna grate the cheese. And I mean, again, when you have a good tool, use it, right? I love this thing for grating cheese. It has definitely changed my cheese game because it's so quick and it's so easy. Nice big 16-ounce block of sharp cheddar here. Now, if you want to use already grated cheese and skip this step, do that. I just think when you have this tool, it makes such quick work. I love it, but I used to use pre-grated cheese before I had this cheese grater. I'm just going to cut it lengthwise to make it narrow enough to fit into my grater. Oh, it's a big old chunk of cheese. Clipped into place. This wheel clipped on. Cheese in. I'm going to show you how quick you can get through this giant block of cheese. You're going to be shocked. Don't push too hard because then it will get stuck inside the wheel. Just give it a nice gentle push. And what I do is I start by, see, I did get it stuck because I pushed too hard. You got to be gentle with it. Gentle, gentle. Now I'm gonna have to pull it out of here. Hold on. This gorgeous pile. And then when it starts to get lower, then I'll come in here with the guard. And, you know, again, don't push too hard. It's easy to get jammed up if you push too hard. Look at this giant pile of cheese. This is gonna be delicious. I can tell already. The goop. I'm gonna use cream of chicken. I'm going to use 2 small cans or 1 large can. You could use cream of celery, cream of mushroom, cream of whatever you want. You could use heavy cream instead of this. If you opt to use heavy cream instead of using a canned soup, you're going to need more seasonings, right? Salt, pepper, maybe some garlic or other seasonings because the soup, this cream of chicken, cream of celery, cream of mushroom, cream of whatever soup you want does add a lot of flavor that you're going to miss if you just use heavy cream. But I have done heavy cream, salt, and pepper, and it works. If you use milk, sometimes it'll break a little bit, which still tastes delicious, but just so that you know. So heavy cream or half and half is another good option if you don't want to use the soup. And again, I would just say that you're just going to need to season it a little bit more heavily. Like I'm not going to add salt because the soup is going to add a lot of salt and the cheese is going to add a lot of salt. Add 1 can of milk. And I'm just going to use the can to try to wash out some of that soup. Whisk that together until it's smooth. If I were using the heavy cream, I might also consider, instead of the soup, I might also consider adding a little bit of butter for richness. Because again, the cream of chicken, cream of celery, cream of mushroom, the cream of whatever soup you're using is adding flavor. It's adding richness. It's adding thickness. It's definitely adding fattiness, and all those things, you know, matter in recipes. So heavy cream or half and half. If you did half and half, maybe a little butter, salt, pepper, garlic, whatever. But me, I'm going to go with the old cream of chicken. That's my favorite. You can use, like I said, cream of whatever you like. Now it's completely smooth. It looks like, you know, pancake batter. We're going to incorporate a couple of big handfuls of the cheese. I'm going to reserve a little bit to sprinkle on top. And I'm just going to mix this together. And then we're going to build it like a delicious potato lasagna. I also love pepper. So I'm going to add a couple of grinds of pepper. A big baking dish and a tablespoon of butter here. And I'm just going to butter my pan before I start building my potato lasagna. Like a lasagna, you're going to start by putting a scoop of goop on the bottom. And these are all gratin as opposed to scallop potatoes because they have cheese. Scallop potatoes are just cream and not cheese. That's the consensus. But you know, basically it's just a gratin, right? We're going to layer potatoes across the bottom, cover with goop, layer potatoes, cover with goop, layer potatoes, cover with goop. It does not need to be pretty. That's a layer of potatoes. Now we put a layer of goop, and just be careful not to dislodge your potato layer when you layer on your goop, but it's all going to melt together and become one magical thing. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be all spread out. Just put a little goop. Topped her with some cheese. I'm preheating the oven to 350 and I'm going to pop it in there for probably like an hour and then we'll check on it. This is a like long cooking dish, but at least it's a hands off. Okay, after an hour and a half, it comes out looking like this. It's like molten cheese lava that will burn your face off. But you know we're going to taste it because, hello, I can't resist. After an hour and a half in the oven, it's still firm. It's molten hot and it's delicious. Tastes like home. Love you, Gigi.